Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Race number 5 at Churchill Downs on Kentucky Oaks Friday is the Grade 2 8 Bells Stakes for 3-year-old fillies going 7 furlongs. Let's take a look at this field of speedsters. We'll begin down towards the inside. The number 1, Amy's Challenge, is brilliantly fast. She showed that in her first 3 starts, all winning efforts in sprints. And maybe Mac Robertson got a bit of the Kentucky Oaks fever after that. Tried to stretch this horse out a couple of times, and she ran well both times. She just couldn't stay the distance. 7 probably more to her liking.
I mean, you have to like the turn back for her, if nothing else. Those last 2 races where they tried to stretch her out, as you say, she didn't run poorly in those races, but you could just tell she doesn't really want to go that far, and she's just not the kind of horse who can really settle her speed. I mean, she just ran off on the lead in both of those races, got really tired in the stretch. The turn back really works for her. I mean, I don't know, Dan, I don't really have any knocks on her first 3 starts. I didn't think that she was, great in them, but she was certainly pretty good, and that was a quality win 3 starts back at the Dixie Belle.
She was 7-5 in the fantasy against Sassy Sienna and Wonder Godot, who will both be in the Kentucky Oaks on Friday. She went very fast in the early portion of that race. It'll be interesting to see where Timeform US has her as she cuts back in the 8 Bells. Let's take a look at the pace projector for this race, and they have the 1, Amy's Challenge, out there along with Mia Mischief, her old rival. They hooked up in the Dixie Belle. Yeah. In that race, Mia Mischief was the inside speed. Amy's Challenge was on the outside. Yeah. Perhaps they'll reverse roles this time around. As for Mia Mischief, she took the sprint route while Amy's Challenge stretched out. I think it was the right decision for Steve Asmussen. I know she might not have beaten the strongest field last time out, but boy, she hammered those horses in the Purple Martin.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like she never got down to any kind of serious business in that race. She just stalked those leaders, took over when she was ready. She crushed that field in the stretch. A big new buyer top for that race as well. Boy, she's a good horse. Even the race 2 starts back when Amy's Challenge got the better of her, I think you might be right about that. You reverse the trips, maybe you get a little bit of a different result, but she ran well in that race too. I mean, where's the bad race she's run, Dan? She's a dangerous horse in this race, but she's another speed. She has Amy's Challenge to deal with. There's plenty of pace in this race.
Are you worried about the 7? For Mia Mischief? She tried it once at Churchill Downs last year. She was run down as an odds-on favorite after opening up a big lead. Or do you say, listen, I like how she settled a little bit last time out. Maybe she will have enough punch left for the 7th furlong.
Yeah, I mean, I would worry about it a little bit just because she has tried it before and she didn't finish that great in that race. But, maybe she's just a different horse now. I know that she settled a little bit last time, but it's different settling off of horses that you're just better than. And there are some horses in here, and as good as she is, she just may not be that much better than that.
Let's talk about the 5. Talk Vuv to Me. This is a Daughter of Violence owned by Team Valor, and this horse just ran away and hid from the competition at the fairgrounds off of a lengthy layoff. Now, I know the pace wasn't absolutely fast that day, and she got out to an easy lead, but she just pounded that field. She earned a 92 buyer speed figure, and if she runs back to that fig, she's going to be tough. I'm assuming drawing outside of the 2 speeds, that doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, it's a good post position for her. We'll see if she can back that race up because it's going to be a totally different scenario for her here. She's not only is she facing much better horses, she's facing a much faster pace this time, and as good as she looked in that race, I mean, she just got absolutely loose on the lead, and they just never got anywhere near her. It was visually impressive the way that she did it. The horse that ran second to her, who was a stablemate of hers, came back and she won her next race with a nice buyer speed figure of her own. So maybe she beat a good horse that day and beat her really easily. This is a really tough spot though.
The 7 Hold Her Tight has won her last 2 races for a top horseman in Larry Jones, who I believe trained 8 Bells.
Yeah.
Hold Her Tight's figs don't exactly match up to those of Talk Vuv to Me or Mia Mischief's last race, but I think she's a lightly raised filly that's going to get some pace. She's improving, and she's got a nice formulator fact in her corner. Cowboy Jones, over the past 5 years, with 3-year-old last out winners making their second start off a layoff in a dirt sprint, 30% winners, a 228 ROI. Now, I thought she got a nice setup last time out, but a similar one is coming, and best of all, you get paid this time if you're right at 10-1.
Yeah, she's got a great post on the outside, and she's already won over 7/8. There are a lot of things to like about her. She's a little slow on the way in, and that's, I guess, the real drawback for her. I still think she's a really interesting horse in this race at a big price, if only because I personally think she's run really well in all 3 of her starts, including her debut where she just didn't break and got way far back in that race. She was really running at the end, though, in a race where Salty Bay, who's also in this race, just got loose on the lead. A really game win second time out. She was dead game last time. The horse that she ran down there had a huge lead on her in the stretch. This filly would not stop trying to catch. She did catch at the end. I think she's a play here, and I'm using her at a price.
Salt Bay 15-1. Javier Castellano as the mount. No match at all for Mia Mischief in the Purple Martin Stakes. And then she came back and she got beat at 6-5. Does that make you worry about the Mia Mischief race? Or is it just simply a situation where Salt Bay may not be good enough to challenge these graded foes at this point?
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, you go back to that race 2 starts back, and she, got up to the lead from the inside in that race. And even though she couldn't get loose in there, you could just tell she was just no match when Mia Mischief came for her off the turn in that race. She was only left way behind second best in that race. I don't really care about her last race. I just feel like she's in too tough for this race. Not only is she in too tough, Dan, she's got the wrong running style for this race.
Criminal Mischief might be in too tough as well for Wayne Lucas. The only wins have come in claiming races. She seems overmatched 15-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not that much to recommend this. Whereas Lucas has been known to pull off an upset or two in a big race, but this would be a real shocker if she wins.
We're going to take a look at our top selections for the 8 Bells Stakes. Now, you're going with the morning line favorite at 2-1, the Keeneland Graduate, the number 6 Gas Station Sushi. She may not go off the favorite in here. I know she's been favored in both starts. Boy, was she impressive in her debut at Del Mar in August. This was a big ticket March 2-year-old purchase. Looked so good winning that race, pressing and battling all the way, and then just emerging professionally with a nice score. She disappeared. She came back in the Beaumont going this 7, and I liked the way she finished it off.
Yeah, I like both of her races. I'm with you on her debut. That was a really nice performance. I don't know what happened to her after that. She missed a lot of time, but she came back off the layoff last time in a graded stakes race. She's the only graded stakes winner in the field. I know the figure regressed a little bit. I think she ran better than the figure might suggest that she did, because not only did she really finish in that race, but he had her Nakatani sort of over behind horses. She had to steady a little bit. She wasn't clear until they got to the stretch. Once she got clear, I loved the way she came and got those horses and finished it off at the end. I think she's better than that figure makes her look. I don't know if I would be better if she's the favorite in this race. I'm hoping she's not the favorite.
You're going with Gas Station Sushi, 6, 7, 1, and 3. I just like the way Mia Mischief won that race last time out. She gave Amy's Challenge all she could handle in the Dixie Belle, her race prior. I think that she can sit perhaps a little bit in here if the 4 decides to maybe try to challenge Amy's Challenge, or the 5 Talk of Hood to me decides to go. And if not, Mia Mischief might be able to sit off Amy's Challenge, and we'll see if Amy's Challenge regresses off 2 hard races going 2 turns. I'll take Mia Mischief in here, 3, 5, 4, 6 in the Grade 2 8 Bells. Race number 5 at Churchill Downs on Kentucky Oaks Friday has an approximate post time of 12:35 Eastern. Best of luck.